First, I had learned federalism, the division of political power between a central authority and constituent political units. The Constitution provides legal framework for the nation. It also protects individual rights and also establishes amendments. I had also learned about the federal preemption, so states in an area in which federal regulation is pervasive, state legislation cannot stand. Separation of powers, a little review there. The legislative enacts laws, executive branch, they handle laws are faithfully executed, they make sure for that matter, and judicial branch interprets the laws. The Commerce Clause I had also learned about. This empowers Congress to regulate commerce with foreign nations, Indian tribes, or other states. They had also reviewed taxation on the internet. So the Internet Tax Non-Discrimination Act had replaced the Internet Tax Freedom Act in 2004. Impacts of amendments on business. The first 10 amendments. Corporates are treated as artificial persons, and they prohibit federal governments from infringing on individual rights. The First Amendment had guaranteed freedom of speech, religion, and press. It also guarantees the right to assemble peacefully and also allows for petition the government for redress of grievances. So the CPS, the corporate political speech, goes by a high court ruling, so meaning protected. Reasons for protection: corporations pay tax, corporations cannot vote, and the corporate political speech does not threaten individuals' political speech. Fourth Amendment was also discussed. This protects individual rights to be secure in their homes and personal property. Now, my question here was, if I was to be in my friend's house and he was not home, and the cops come and start banging on the door and want in, am I allowed to yell the Fourth Amendment at them, even though it's not my personal property? Okay, that's my question. And moving on, more about the Fourth Amendment. It prohibits the government forces from unreasonable searches. So this requires a probable cause, and the only exception really for warrantless searches is that an industry is subject to pervasive regulations. The Fifth Amendment, we all know the right to trial, a jury. The Due Process Clause was discussed within the Fifth Amendment section. No one without due process of the law can be deprived of the three properties: life, liberty, and property. The Fifth Amendment also involves procedural due process, substantive due process, and the Takings Clause. The 14th Amendment applies the Bill of Rights and Due Process Clause to the states. It also covers Equal Protection Clause and prohibits discrimination that is not based on a sufficient jurisdiction. The classification of crime went on to talk about what treason, felonies, petty, a misdemeanor, and then procedures such as arresting, probable cause, being read your Miranda rights, booking and first appearances within the court, indictment, arraignment, plea bargaining, and then also went on to some new information to me. Burden of proof rests on the prosecutor. Burden of production of evidence and burden of persuasion. Defenses, you have the entrapment, insanity, duress, and mistake of fact. The 7 steps of criminal prosecution would be first arrest, then booking, then first appearance, then information or indictment, then arraignment, then trial, then appeal. A white-collar crime, when allowed on about those, these would include, more of the common ones would include fraud, bribery, embezzlement, violations of federal regulations, larceny, and computer crimes. They also went on to talk about common computer crimes, data detection, data destruction, viruses, worms. False Claims Act, this makes so private citizens may sue employers on behalf of the government for fraud against the government. The Sarbanes-Oxley Act establishes new rules regarding corporate accounting, government oversight, and financial regulations. And the Whistleblower Protection Act, to sum it all up, this offers protections to federal employers who report illegal government activities. Thank you for your time.